He came to close a hospital deal, but when he saw 3 tiny children crying outside a patient's room, something in him shattered. That day, he didn't just find a business opportunity, he found the family he never knew he needed. He walked into the hospital with zero emotion on his face. Ethan West, the billionaire CEO of Westcorp Industries, wasn't there for compassion, he was there for expansion. The hospital needed funding, and he saw an opportunity. Profit, not people. That's how he built his empire. Cold efficiency, no distractions. He hated hospitals, the smell of antiseptic, the dull white walls, the weak and wounded. But he was used to controlling everything, even pain. Or so he thought. As he walked down the corridor with his assistant, clipboard in hand, negotiating a multi-million-dollar equipment deal, he suddenly stopped. Just outside one of the patient rooms were 3 small children. Triplets. No older than 6. All in mismatched pajamas, sitting on the cold tile floor, tears running down their cheeks. They weren't loud. Just quiet, broken sobs. For a reason he couldn't explain, Ethan stopped walking. Something gripped him. His assistant kept talking, but he didn't hear a word. One of the kids, a little girl with tangled hair, looked up at him with swollen eyes and asked in the smallest voice, "Are you the doctor? Is Mommy going to wake up now?" Ethan froze. He had no words. The nurse nearby tried to guide the children back to a waiting area, but Ethan intervened. "What happened to their mother?" he asked, his voice low. The nurse hesitated. "Single mom. No insurance. She collapsed at work. Severe cardiac failure. They don't have anyone else. We're doing what we can." He watched as the triplets clung to one another, shivering. A memory hit him like lightning. Years ago, he had been one of those children. Alone in a hospital waiting room, holding his little sister's hand, waiting to hear if their mother would survive. She didn't. He remembered the cold floors, the smell, the fear, and the man who walked by and didn't stop. A man who could have helped, but didn't. He couldn't walk away. Not this time. He asked to see the mother's chart. The staff looked at him in disbelief. Ethan West, the businessman, requesting patient records. But his name carried weight, and within minutes, he was standing beside a fragile woman on life support. Machines beeped steadily, her face pale and still. He called in his private medical team. He cancelled his meetings. He didn't know why, but he knew he couldn't leave them. For the next 48 hours, Ethan barely slept. He paid for an emergency specialist to fly in. He stayed outside the ICU, reading bedtime stories to the kids. He bought them clean clothes, food, even teddy bears. The nurses started whispering about the billionaire babysitter. But he didn't care. When the mother, Grace, finally woke up, she was confused, terrified. She thought she was dreaming. Until she saw her children safe, and Ethan sitting beside her, eyes tired, voice gentle. "You're safe now. They're okay. And so are you." Tears streamed down her face. "Why would a man like you help someone like me?" He paused, then answered quietly, "Because no one helped my mother." From that day on, everything changed. Ethan funded the hospital's family wing in Grace's name. He started a foundation to support single mothers in medical crisis. He even visited the triplets weekly, taking them to the park, helping them with school. It wasn't charity. It was healing. His heart, once a fortress, had been cracked open by 3 small voices and one mother's courage. Years later, he stood on a stage at a hospital fundraiser. Grace was beside him, now healthy, smiling. The triplets, all grown, cheered from the front row. Ethan looked out at the crowd and said, "That day, I walked into the hospital for business. But I walked out with a family."